Hi, everybody. Well, listening. This could be one of the wisest things any of us ever learn to do is to listen, improve our listening because, to be able to just listen better. It's the only way to get wisdom in life. Um, it's causing a lot of problems because people are really poor listeners. Um, when people are poor listeners and communicators, what happens is we get a lot of emotions and thoughts, and I'll just define it as it's not just rubbish. It's like a tip. It's like a. Do you remember how in America, the last president Donald Trump made some campaign promises to clean out the swamp? We're going to clean out the swamp. We're going to clean out the swamp. Now, what he meant by that was a little bit different. He meant um, help to clean up the American government and get good people in there and remove those that weren't very good, all the bureaucrats and stuff and the way it worked. But, but to clean out the swamp, we want to clean out the swamp within us that comes about when, say, we get triggered by threats or get this is really toxic communication there, and that's something we want to learn about how not to have a negative response or even trying to necessarily fight back with counter threats and stuff. But we want to try and really listen, improve our listening, because it's the only way that we're going to learn and get wisdom, isn't it? I mean, so yeah, very few people are trained in listening. They're trained in writing and reading, speaking, but very little listening. Wisdom is just saying, just like, we need to really listen because we're poor listeners, and it's really too complicated for me just to say it, like just go on and on telling you about listening and things I know about it. But just the best thing I can do right here is just identify the thing that can make you a lot wiser and be improve life for everyone is learn to really listen better. And all the different kinds of listening that you do, there is different kinds of listening, and the way you listen and the way you take the steps and um, putting your attention on it or responding and then reacting, and you feel emotions, and then you're either going to respond good, bad, or maybe it'll help you learn to know something more about what you already know. I'll keep it short because I know people don't necessarily have a long time, and sometimes short and sweet. There's a YouTube channel. There's a professor called Shiva Athol. Um, he's got some lectures on observational listening skills. If you just type in observational listening skills, um, there's two videos. They're about they're about an hour each, and the man's name is Shiva Athol, and he did these two lectures. He's a studies molecular biology, so you might kind of learn a little bit about. He's got a few things on there, but he's done a great lecture on observational listening skills, and another one which I thought was really good was about understanding how exercise is a really important thing for your health from the standpoint of a university professor and in molecular biology, and he's a university lecturer. So he's not a well, I mean, he's a very qualified guy, and but just that's a starting place for you to move on to learn this. It's a very good lesson that he's done, and you'll notice in all the wisdom books like King Solomon and Jesus, and God Himself. That's important to Him that you listen to Him. For example, most of the judgments, most of the people that have been condemned and judged in the Holy Bible, most of the trouble in all that biblical history was because people just didn't listen. They just didn't listen to what the prophets were saying, what Jesus was saying, what John the Baptist was saying, um, what God was saying to most of the problems came because people just they didn't listen. And that's when God judged them. All he was asking them was to listen, and they just weren't listening. I mean, it just feels like it might be the wisest thing ever, just to learn a lot more about listening. So, made my point.